Good morning, everyone. This is a video on how to make tints, tones, and shades. So the first thing you're going to need is your black and white paints and your paper. And we are going to start by making a tint. So a tint is made by adding white to a color, or as I like to say, by adding a color to white. So I'm going to take a little bit of this red and put it in at the edge of my white to make the sort of the palest red that I can make, otherwise known as pink. And I want to make even steps here, so I'm making this as light as I can. And then I'm going to paint this in my first box. So this is a very pale tint of red. And we're not worried about 3 coats on these. If you want to, you could do 3 coats and let them dry in between, but I'm not too concerned about that. Then I'm going to take a little bit more red and get a little more intensity of color. I'm mixing it into the same tint that I made for the first box because I don't need a lot of color for this assignment. And what I'm going to try to do is even steps, even changes in value. So it's going to evenly get a little bit darker each time. So this is number 2. Painting it, fairly evenly. Trying to stay within the lines, but also trying not to take too much of your time. And so I'm just going to keep doing this until I have all 4 boxes painted with even changes of value. We don't want a big jump from one to the next if you can help it. Some of what these assignments are about is learning how to control your paints as well as how to affect color. So this is my 3rd step. Getting a little darker each time. The last one is not going to be pure red. It should always have white in it in order for it to qualify as a tint. So the last one, I'm going to add a little bit more red. Mix it up. And paint it down. And that doesn't look like there's enough of a change, so I'm going to add a little more red, while it's all still wet. Paint over that. You will find that you get to a certain point and you need to add a fair amount of color to make it look different. I still don't think it's dark enough, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I don't see a whole lot of change in that color. And remember, the paints do dry lighter. So there you have it. 3 tints of red.